One of the stories that caught my eye this week, as I mentioned in the intro here, was the Muse Spark model from Meta. Now, Meta absolutely has a competitive frontier model that is right up there with the rest of the big boys. But frankly, Meta hasn't found a market for their AI efforts yet. And I think that Muse Spark is a really interesting direction. So essentially, announced in April and now refined as version 1.1, they have a model that is not intended to be an all singing, do all model. It's intended to be a useful model for agentic workloads. It runs tools, it excels at running tools, it excels at long running analysis, long running, multiple queries. It excels at being, responsive and generating tokens, and it's cheap. They're charging $1.25 per million input tokens and $4.25 per million output tokens, which compares favorably to every other model on the market. And in fact, it even undercuts Grok, which had been I don't want to say the darling, because I don't think anybody really loved it, but it had been the go-to model for people that are trying to build agentic applications simply because it was more economically viable to use Grok than to use the other ones from OpenAI and Anthropic. Well, now here's Meta with one that undercuts that on price. Probably, according to everybody that I've read that's done evaluations of it, exceeds Grok in terms of value, in terms of capability, and yet is sort of a new player on the market. We know that companies like Google and Microsoft are eagerly trying to develop competitive models. I mean, I personally use Gemini for a lot of agentic processing, and because it's inexpensive, it performs well, it's quick, it's easy to use, it's integrated with the Google accounts, that sort of thing. It's basically just a really nice thing. And I think that the same thing that Meta's kind of seeing an opportunity here, I'm sure that every other company in the space is seeing this opportunity too. And I find it ironic that the opportunity is not in developing ever bigger models, but developing ones that are ever more useful, more responsive, and more economically viable. Okay?